One of my favorite quotes comes from the late, great, legendary basketball coach John Wooden. Do not equate your expertise with your ability to teach. And what a great lesson for all of us in leadership, particularly sales leadership, because many sales managers were promoted because of their great selling skills. However, important to recognize that that may not equate to your ability to teach your sales team the skills, knowledge, and habits, attitudes that made you a top performer. And in fact, it's really not a sales manager's fault, because where do they learn the skills to teach, coach, and transfer the skills and habits that made them successful? Educators, teachers go to school for 4, 8, 12 years. Sales managers either learn on their own or not at all. And as a result, this can lead to stagnant salespeople, stagnant sales cultures, and stagnant sales results. I felt so strongly about this that in my new book, Emotional Intelligence for Sales Leadership, I devoted a lot of chapters teaching sales managers how to teach both the soft skills and the hard skills necessary to transfer the habits, knowledge, and skills that made you a top producer. Now, the good news is that this can be learned. For many years, scientists felt like the brain was really set. You had a certain set of neurons operating a certain way. But the research over the last few decades has shown that the brain is plastic. Human beings have the ability to learn. It's called neuroplasticity, often called Hebb's Law. Cells that fire together, wire together. Let me show you a quick example. So you're a sales manager. You're teaching your sales team a new skill. You practice with repetition, because with repetition, you start firing the neurons. Cells that fire together, wire together. You practice again, you practice again, you practice again. And pretty soon, with repetition, mastery is achieved. Your salesperson, your sales team, achieves unconscious competence. That's what we're aiming for. Well, this sounds simple. So why isn't every sales team operating at the highest level? Well, on your way to mastery, your sales team and yourself, you're going to encounter something called the J curve. And the cliff notes on the J curve is this. Often, as you're trying to manage new skills, you get worse before you get better. Take a look at this lovely tree. It's the J curve. So when your salespeople join your team, or even if they've been selling for 10 years, business changes, customer demands change. You've got to learn new value propositions, questions, new objections to deal with. All of those take new skills. And often as you're learning the new skills, you get worse before you get better. Now here's what happens. When you're at the bottom of the J curve, it's pretty easy for the neuroscience to kick in, that reptilian brain. And that reptilian brain is the survival brain, and it starts telling your salesperson messages such like, hey, play it safe. Your old way was working. You're okay. You don't want to try this new skill on this new prospect. You're going to blow the deal. And as a result, salespeople often flee back to comfort zones. And this is where great selling skills, quotas, and potential goes to die. Sales manager, it's important to examine yourself at the bottom of the J curve, because you've taught your salesperson that skill once, twice, 3 times. You've conducted several role plays, and they still haven't mastered the skills. So you give into the pull of instant gratification saying, well, I've done all I can. And again, the salesperson doesn't improve, because with repetition and mastery, you will start improving the skills, habits, and attitudes that will make you a top performer. Sales managers, get really good at being a great teacher, a great coach. Remember the words of John Wooden. Do not equate your expertise with your ability to teach. I'm Colleen Stanley, President of Sales Leadership. Thanks for joining me today.